Hi everyone, it's Laura Milligan. It's Monday at 1 o'clock. That is when I normally do a Facebook Live. And thank you to those of you who are joining me live. Thank you for those who are watching on the replay. And just thanks for being here today. It's a beautiful sunny day. I know spring's coming. We got a little snow over the weekend, but spring is definitely on its way. So that's really exciting. So if you're there, give me a shout out, say hi. I hope that my internet is okay. It seemed to be acting a little iffy here right as I started, but hopefully we're going to be okay. I have a really beautiful card I'm going to share with you today. And there's Susie. Hi, Susie Q. How are you? Beautiful card to share today. We have just a short time left of sale-a-bration. It ends February 29th. And so if you have not gotten what you want for free, the free products that we're offering, now's the time to do it. Don't delay. We have some great offerings this year. And one of the best deals, as always, is purchasing our starter kit. There are a couple different options, and the people that I've had join under me are all choosing the option that includes the glass mat. It is amazing. It actually sold out during the demonstrator pre-order, which tells you that it's a really good thing. I'd love to have you on my team. If you don't have someone that you work with, a demonstrator that you work with, just reach out to me, and we welcome all team members from all across the United States. So just reach out if you have questions about that. So I'm going to go ahead and change my camera view down. There's Cheryl. Cheryl, thank you for the adorable honey pot that you left at my back door. I had to do a little detective work to figure out who left it because there were quite a few people coming and going to my back porch. But that was so sweet of you. Thank you so much. You're so thoughtful. And there's Anne-Marie. Hi, Anne-Marie. I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera view down. And I have a couple things I'm going to mention first. One is my bee box, which is a class to go. And the registration for that closes February 26th. It is the sweetest class. The cards in this class are so beautiful, and there's 4 different card designs. One is a slimline card, and you make 2 of each of the cards. You get a boatload of product with it, more than you will ever need for the cards, and it's great. I think it's always great to send birthday cards. That's probably one of the main reasons I send cards. But don't miss out on this. And how great is it to start the year out with a stash of birthday cards? So don't miss this class. It is really, really sweet and good. So let me show you in the catalog. It's just a stamp set. It doesn't include any dies. Let's see if I can find it. I marked it in here. Here it is. So this is our mini catalog, January to April, and it's on page 30. So here's some of the parts and pieces. You can make a really tall cake. You can do some different things. There's flowers and leaves, greenery, words. It kind of has it all. So don't miss this class. It's a really, really good one. And so what I'm doing today is, let me pull this open. So I'm going to show you. So a couple weeks ago, I went into pretty great detail about how to use the Adoring Hearts bundle, which includes this hybrid embossing folder. And I had so many of you order it, and it actually is now out of stock. Probably because all of you saw my video, right? And wanted to get it. I'm sure that I'm just kidding. But it's been extremely popular, and it is unavailable. It is coming back, but not for a couple months. So I have a couple people I know that didn't get it when they wanted to before it became unavailable. So I'm kind of keeping my eye on that. But what I wanted to do today was show you this hybrid embossing folder, and it is called Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. And I'm going to come back to this page in a minute, but I wanted to use that. And then I also wanted to use, because it's sale-a-bration, this week and next week, I'm going to feature some things that are part of sale-a-bration that are not to be missed. And so this is the Detailed Dogwood Stamp Set. It is gorgeous. and it is free with a $100 purchase. It's a bigger stamp set. There are 10 different stamps, and it's kind of fun because you can create like a collage type card, which I do always love those. That's not what I'm doing today, but it's perfect for that if you like that kind of thing. And I'm going to refer back to that in a minute as well. But so a lot of different things to show you today. And I'm going to start with, let's see, I'm going to make sure I have my layers so I don't take the wrong thing. So I'm going to start with this, and I am going to grab my stamps here. And I'm just going to start, here it is in person. They're always better in person, aren't they? So I'm going to stamp this big image, and I'm just using basic gray ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this and then use some blends to color it in. So let me get this inked up. I used to always use basic gray for like my basic stamping pad. Let me give that a nice push, and that looks good. Because it's softer, it's not as stark as just using like a black pad. It's just a softer look. So that's basic gray. And so what I'm going to do now is just add some color, and I have some blends. I don't think I'm going to need my color lifter, but I always have it handy just in case. So I'm using the lights of all of these: Pecan Pie, Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lolly, and Light Bubble Bath. I almost said light bubble gum, but light bubble bath. And actually, yeah, okay, so I'm going to start and add color with this, and I want this to be pretty soft. I don't want to add a lot of color, but I'm going to start and just using the light bubble bath and just adding some color. And I'm not even going all the way down the leaves. I want to have, or the petals, I want to have some white. So just going to add a little bit of color here to the petals of the flower. Same thing for these blossoms. We have a beautiful dogwood tree in our front yard, and I think it's pink, although it's a darker pink than I'm doing today. It's not bubble bath. It's a little bit darker. So I'm just adding some color. I think it just a little bit goes a long way. That's the look I'm going for anyway. Whoops, I forgot that one. Color there. Do you like coloring? I really enjoy it. For me, it's just really relaxing. So I have that, and then I do want to try to create a little bit of a contrast. So I'm just going to go back in with the light bubble bath and just add a little bit of dark kind of towards the top there. It's real subtle, but isn't it pretty? I just think it's so pretty. And then I'll do the same thing. I'm going over, you know, what I've already done, just to add a little bit of very slight contrast. Okay, so there we have that. Then I'm going to take Lemon Lolly, and I'm just going to color the center of these flowers, and they're little dots. I'm just going to sort of dot this color on there like that. Okay, we have that, and then I'm going to do the leaves, and I'm using Granny Apple Green, light Granny Apple Green, and so I'm going to do the same thing. I want this to be just real soft, so I'm going to start and just color in the leaves, and then I can go back in and color over some of this, like where some of the lines are, to create a little bit of contrast. But I just wanted it to be real soft and pretty. And it's okay to have some white space. You don't have to color it all in. Okay, and here's one more leaf here. Okay, and then I'm just going to go back and add a little bit of dark. Well, it's not even dark, it's the light still, but just to make it look a little bit darker, kind of along the stem and where some of those lines are. It's kind of one of those things Stampin' Up! Gives us a hint as to where to add a little bit darker color. Yeah, and then it's nice when you're using the same color of blend, you can see, like look here, you can see the contrast, but it's just real soft. And that's the look I'm going for here, so. Okay, so we have that. Then I'm gonna take my light pecan pie and just add some color along the stem here. I, for the most part, use the bullet end of the blend. Of course, you know, they have the bullet tip and then also the brush tip. It's easier for me to control the color, even if it's a bigger space. I guess sometimes for that I would use that brush tip, but I don't know, I just prefer the small. So these are real little, so I'm like barely even touching these. Okay, so we have that. And then I'm going to use this same idea and take this panel. This is going to be the actual front panel of my card. I'm going to open up my basic gray again. I'm going to set this aside for a minute. I'm going to use my basic gray and just stamp this image. So I've got right here. Oh, Anne-Marie, what would be the difference to use the markers as opposed to the blends? I don't have blends, just markers. Okay, let me just say you have to try the blends. They are alcohol-based. They are amazing for coloring. With the markers, you cannot blend and add different layers of color. If you would try to add more color, often it would like gum up the paper, which is probably not the look you're going for. The blend, like I use the blends anytime I need to add color to anything. I use my blends. I highly recommend them. So okay, so then for this I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to add a little bit of light color here. I'm not going to color this whole thing in because it's going to be covered up, but again I'm just adding some light, mainly concentrating on like the tips of the petals. I'm going to do some of this too because I'm not sure what all will be covered up, but a little bit of color there. And that's not going to be seen, so I think that we're good there. You got to try them, Anne-Marie. Just pick out like one or two, like get a green and a pink or yellow or something. Get your favorite, whatever your favorite color is, and try. You will be amazed. And the other thing, like I can show you on this, look how it just saturates. You can see how it comes through on the back. It saturates your paper. So, yeah. And I'm just going to add a little color to some of these leaves. Like that. I guess I thought that was a petal. I colored it pink, but I can cover it up. Okay, so I just have a little bit there. And then I'm going to add the light pecan pie. Most of this will, well, like this part down here is going to be covered up, so I'm not going to worry about adding color to that. This, like, I am like barely touching my cardstock because it's such a thin little line there. Okay, and I think that's going to be good. So next, what I did was I took this piece. We don't have dies that go with this. It's a freestanding stamp set. And so I fussy cut it. And I did that ahead of time just to save a little time because it is kind of detailed, and you know, you're just going to take your paper snips. I can show you. So what I do is you hold your scissors still and you turn the paper. That's the trick with fussy cutting. And I feel like it's one of those things, the more you do, the better you get at it. And yeah, so just, turn your paper and go all the way around. It'll be worth it. I guess there are ways you could do that without fussy cutting, but okay, so we have this part. This is going to be the front of our card. And you know what? Now that I look at this, I'm going to add a little more pink bubble bath to that. Okay, that looks good. All right. So then what I'm going to do, okay, now before I almost forgot, I thought I might forget this. I'm going to take the pecan pie blend again and do some flecking. And I have, let me see if I can find it. I have an old, yeah, here it is. I have an old bone folder. You can see it's been very well used and loved. I put this rubber band around it. I actually have a couple of them that I've used for this flecking, and I kind of keep them bound together so that when I need one, I know where it is. So I'm just going to use pecan pie, and I am striking the brush tip of this with the blender pen, with my bone folder, just to add some flecks, and you can do as little or as many as you like, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it like that. That's a real stress. If you think coloring is a stress relief, whacking this like this is a really good stress relief. So if you're having a bad day, just get out some cardstock and a blend in your bone folder and fleck away. It'll make you feel good. So, all right. So then this I'm going to put on top of this like this. I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals. And let's see. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this here, and you can see I'm covering up the part that I didn't color. I'm going to turn it a little bit like that just to kind of fill in the space. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to attach this to the Granny Apple Green panel. Doesn't that look pretty? It just kind of highlights it. And I'm going to get my glue. Oh, yes. So, Debbie, I love that bubble bath color. Just ordered all the core colors, set of 11, and free celebration. Yeah, so one of the new items for celebration is the free core colors of markers. They are wonderful. I got some for myself because I had to put an order in. Let me see if I can get my glue going here. I haven't used it for a while. Let me get my straight pin. Sometimes there's just like a little bead. There we go. Let's see if this goes. And I hate to squeeze too hard because then it's all going to just blob out. Okay, hold on. Let me try to pull it. Yeah, I could see something stuck in there. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, hold on because I got a Kleenex. I'm going to wipe my hands off. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. So now I'm going to be sticky the rest of the time. Anyway, you don't need this much glue. How about that for a tip? Okay, so I have this, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it on there like that. This is going to be mounted onto a bubble bath. Whoops. So that's going to go on there like that on the bubble bath card base. Now I wanted to add some words. And this set, the Detailed Dogwood, does not come with any words. So that's where the Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder is going to come in. So there we have, oh, come on. Let me get this straight. Okay, that looks better. All right, that's pretty straight. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to close up. Well, I'm going to need my ink. That's right. So I'm going to move some things out of the way for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to bring in, this is the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. And so this is one like the Adoring Hearts, where you have the die that fits into the embossing folder. And so what you can do, and I didn't do this ahead of time, but you can see how it just, so it fits in there, it snaps right in place. You can run this through your die cutting machine and just get like whatever color you decide to use. I would probably do it in white, but you could do pink, whatever color, and it will emboss. So the word is like raised. It's actually embossed, so it will stick out. But what I want to do is add some ink. And so, because I think that's kind of fun. So I'm going to use my basic gray ink, and I have my brayer again. And I talked about this last week. And so it has these little legs on it, which means when you're using it, you just sit it down like that. So you're not going to get, if you've already inked it up, you're not going to get ink all over your, whatever your work surface is. So the trick with this is to just go round and round. I'm just going to go down the whole length of the brayer. Get this, might be easier to go this way. There's not really a right or wrong. Just kind of make sure it's covered in ink like that. And then what you want to do is brayer, and you want to do it on the side that says Stampin' Up. So I'm just going to go ahead and brayer over this. And I'm sure this looks familiar to all of you because this is what I did for the Adoring Hearts cards that I made. And that was fun. That's such a great bundle. So when I'm doing this, I'm just kind of checking to see that I've gotten ink everywhere. Like I see I don't have it there. So I'm just going to sort of go over this like that. And then I'm going to set this down with the legs so that I don't get ink all over my surface here. And then I am going to take the embossing folder, and it's going to just snap in place. You kind of move it and see how it clicked. Did you see that? Okay, so then I'm going to take, this is like a 6x6 piece of cardstock. And I'm going to set this down on this carefully and then just close this up to secure it. So we have it like that. I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but what you need for this is your base plate. And this is a 3D embossing folder, so you're going to know to use plate number 4, right? And it says that right here, when you're using a 3D embossing folder, you use platform number 1, which is this, and then platform number 4. You want to put the embossing folder with the seam going in first. And I'm just going to crank this through. Sorry, it's hard to do this on this. Plus I have this under here. There we go. Now it's on an even surface. It'll be easier. But this is a lot. I'm cutting out a lot, and it has a lot of detail. So let me just crank it through. It's going to pop. Here we go. Okay. So we've got that all the way through. Let's set this down here, out of the way, and then I'm going to open this up. And I'm just going to flip it over like that. And I will clean this. Just go to the sink and rinse it with your tap water, and then let it dry. It's plastic, so it's not going to hurt it at all. And so then you have all these different words. So let me show you what they are. And I saw Sarah Douglas had demonstrated a card with this the other day, and what she said she does, she likes super simple cards. That's her style. And what she does is she cuts out a whole bunch of these and keeps them in like a little envelope. And then if she needs to make like a sympathy card or a birthday or whatever, she pulls these out and she has them ready to go. So let me show you on my card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 different words that you can use. And I'm going to set these aside. And I think this would be a beautiful sympathy card. Put it there. This is kind of small, so I would maybe put a ribbon or something underneath that. Here's a get well. You could put that there. You could do oh happy day. Any of these would work. Thank you is probably going to be a little bit too big. Yeah, that's a little too big for this. I'll save it for something else. Just because would be really cute. Celebrate is probably a little bit too big, but I think if I had turned this a little bit more, that would probably work. I'm going to use the get well. And so what I did was I just used it as is, but I'm going to show you something you can do with this. But you can see on the back, maybe, see if I can get it right. Yes, so that you can see how it's embossed. The letter part is popped out, and I love that it has just this fine little detail of color going around it. Let me hold this up so you can see. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just put this on the front of my card. I'm going to use some dimensionals. I think I might use mini for this because there's some smaller areas. I'm going to pop the whole thing up. At first I wasn't going to pop it up, and then I liked it popped up. So, whoops, I got 2 there, which I don't really need, but I'll just put them there like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put this right here like that. And then of course I want to add some embellishments, and so I pulled these out because they're bubble bath. These are the pastel adhesive back sequins. I use these a ton. I think they're so pretty. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to add a few of these for embellishment. I'm going to use, they come in 2 sizes. I'm going to use the smaller ones for this. I could use the big ones, but I just thought these were pretty. And I'm going to tuck it kind of close to the stamped image, the raised image. I'll put one right there as well. So there's the front of my card. And then of course I wanted to do something on the inside. Oh, and let me show you the other thing you can do with this is, so here's one that I had done ahead of time. And you can take your blends, and it's actually, I thought, this seems really difficult, but because the word is raised, embossed, it's really easy to add some color to these. I thought it would be a hot mess, but it's actually pretty easy to keep your color right on those lines because it's raised. And I was looking at the catalog, and what they did, which I thought was kind of cool, was just colored some of these on the bottom rather than color the whole letter in. They just did that, which I thought looked kind of cool as well. And then the other thing they did, let me bring this back in. They, so right here you can see how, so they've done it with the brayer. They've added color to the embossing folder like I just did, and then underneath it they have a solid color which they just offset a teeny bit, and it kind of sets off that word. Here's one they did with 3 different panels. They did the word, and then they did, it looks like petal pink, and then a glimmery gold, some kind of paper. I thought that was really cool. Here's the one where they did just the bottoms of it, which I thought was really cool as well. So these are really fun and neat. Good words, good for all occasions. The bundle, the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder, is $38, which I think is a pretty good deal. And it does come, the dies, they come with this big word set, and there's also some little dies. There's some flowers, there's rainbows, clouds, hearts, stars. So there's more to this than just the words, but really the words to me are worth making that purchase. Okay, so I think this is cool. Look at that with just the, see if we can get that. Isn't that neat the way that is? I thought that was, I'm going to do that next time. I love that. Okay, I want to do something on the inside of the card. So I have a little panel here, and I'm going to use Granny Apple Green ink, and I'm just going to use, let's see, I'm going to use this leaf and the flower from this. Love this dragonfly. I'm not using it today, but I love that. I think it's super, super cute. And so I'm going to, let's see, I got to remember how I did this. Oh yeah. Okay. To look at my, I love to look at my sample. So I'm going to stamp this up here. I'm going to angle it a little bit, just like that in the corner. And then I'm going to use Bubble Bath ink. Oh yeah, Myra says I use Stella, Wink of Stella to color in the words. That would be super pretty. So I'm going to take then this little flower, super cute. It looks like a dogwood too. I guess that's why it's in the stamp set, right? It coordinates. But what I realized was, so I just need a little piece for this. I just have a little scrap here. And I'm using my Bubble Bath ink, and I'm just going to stamp this like that. It's just such a soft, pretty color. And then what I realized was, and let me find my Sale-a-bration catalog. I didn't know this until I took a closer look, but this flower that I'm using from the stamp set coordinates with the Petal Park Builder Punch, which I know a lot of you have. I thought that was so cool. Stampin' Up! Is so good at their coordination, right? So I'm going to take that. This is the Petal Park Builder Punch. And it's this stamp, this punch right here, that part of the punch. So I'm going to just slide this in here and line it up. You always want to stamp first and then turn your punch over and just slip this in. I'm just going to go like that. So there we have that. And I'm just going to add this with a dimensional. And I'm just going to tuck that right there like that. And then I like to add embellishments to the inside of my card. It's something I started doing quite a bit. I just like it. I think it's a fun little surprise on the inside. Let's see, I'm just going to put that there. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to put two others. I don't always, but I try to use an uneven number of gems when I'm using them for embellishments on a card. So, and those are the pastel adhesive back sequins. They come in the gold, the Bubble Bath, and this is, I don't know if it says on the back. I'm not sure what color that is. It almost looks like Azure Afternoon, but so I have that, and so then I'm just going to take my card. I could do a little bit of flecking on this. It would kind of carry over the idea from the front, but add this. And then I was thinking, and I didn't think about this until I was about to go live, but it would be really pretty to use one of our color families. I think it's the Subtles that has the Bubble Bath DSP. We have that stack of DSP, and it's the one that would have the Bubble Bath, and that would be really pretty to use on the flap of your envelope. Okay, so there we have our card, Get Well card for somebody, and then they open it up, and that's just a really pretty inside. You could stamp any of this on the front. This would be really cute. Of course, you couldn't pop it up, but that would be real pretty on the outside on your envelope as well. But there you have the card. And then, you know, I always forget to talk about this, but you want to take credit for your artwork. And you can stamp, sometimes with whatever stamp set you're using, there's an image that would be perfect for the back. And so stamp something like this on the back. and then add your initials and the date or whatever, made by me or whatever. But anyway, so there is that card. I hope you like it, and I'm going to switch my view now. So I'm going to hold this up here. Maybe you get a different angle, but I think this is a gorgeous card, gorgeous stamp set. It is free with a $100 purchase between now and February 29th. So if you love this, I do. This is like my style. I love this. It kind of has a vintage feel to it. Although my card today isn't really vintagey, but you could certainly do that by just switching up the colors. If you get my weekend inspiration, I shared a lovely card yesterday made with this. So be sure to check that out. And don't forget about registering for the beautiful Cake Fancy stamp set. You will not be disappointed. These cards are gorgeous. And I think that is all I have for today. I will look forward to seeing you next week. I'll probably be doing something with Sale-a-bration as well, because the days are ticking by. We're running out. But I have plenty of things to share with you after that as well. And it's been fun to be with you again. Thank you for all your comments and for joining me. And if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you. I do read all of your comments, and I'm so very grateful always for all of you for following me and supporting me in my business. So thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Until next time, take care, my friends, and I hope you have time to be creative today. Bye-bye.